In this video, we're going to talk about section 1.4. This is going to associate with your My Math Lab assignment number 3. There are several forms of linear equations. One is a general form. This is when you have an x plus a y term equals some constant term. We've already talked about this one. If you have x equals some number, remember this is an equation of a vertical line. Remember, you think x should be horizontal, but it's the opposite. If it only has a y equals some number, remember it's not like you would think the y, it's an equation for a horizontal line. The slope-intercept form of a line is when you solve for y, and it's y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the number that goes in the y-intercept coordinates. There's a working form called point slope, and this is what we're going to introduce in this lesson and work with. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, for our first problems, we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept given some equations. First, I have y equals 2x minus 3. Now remember, this is y equals mx plus b. So the slope is the number in front of the x, that's 2. The y-intercept is an ordered pair, remember, where x is equal to 0, and this number on the end is my y-intercept. Now think of this one. Sometimes a sketch will help you here. If this is a y equals equation, then it is a horizontal line. And if we think about this, where y is 2, it would be this line right here. Now the slope of any horizontal line is 0. And the y-intercept is where that line crosses the y-axis, so it is 0, 2. Think of the equation x equals 3. Now if you remember again in a form of a picture, x equal is a vertical line, so it would be something like that one. The slope of a vertical line is undefined, or no slope, and this line never crosses this y-axis, so it has no y-intercept. Now if we have this equation in basic form, what I first want to do is to rewrite it, getting y by itself. So I'm going to divide by -4 all the way across. You notice when I moved the 2x across the equal, it became a negative 2x. So I have y equal 1/2 x, negative into a negative is a positive 2. Now my slope is the number in front of the x, that's 1/2. My y-intercept is an ordered pair where x is 0, and the number on the end is my y number. Now if we want to write an equation for a line that's graphed, remember we would need the y-intercept and the slope. Well, the y-intercept is this point where the line crosses the y-axis, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 0, 5. Now, counting the slope, remember rise over run, I'm going to count down. 1, 2, 3, and that's the negative direction, and to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive direction. So if I need my equation, I'll have y equals m x plus b, and there's my equation for that line. Next, it asks us to graph the equation by using the slope and the y-intercept. The slope here is 2/3. The y-intercept, remember, is the number on the end written as an ordered pair. So first you're going to put your y-intercept, that's 0, -1, and then remember you're going to count y over x. So up 2, right 3. Then you will take your straight edge and you will form a line. Now in this second one, it asks me to graph by slope-intercept, so I need to solve this for y first. So let's move the 3x, changing the sign, and then divide everything by 5. So I have y equals -3/5 minus 2. My slope is -3/5, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Now going to your graph and putting your y-intercept on first, that's negative 2 on the y. Now remember, I'm going to count y over x, and I'm going to count this negative in with the y and get that one behind me. So I'm going to go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll notice that equation had a negative slope, so the line is going to be a falling line, moving from left to right. Next, we're going to introduce the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. In each case, you're going to substitute in these 3 places. Now, for example, if I want to write an equation given m to be negative 6 and a point that the line goes through is negative 3, 2. Now notice that's not a y-intercept, that's just a point. So I'm going to use this. Anytime I have a point and a slope, this is the form I'll use. Now I'm going to substitute. This is my y, so that's going to be y minus 2 equals m, there's my m, negative 6 times x minus, there's my x, negative 3. Now I'm going to do a little cleanup here, because 2 negatives is going to become a positive. Now let's distribute here. Negative 6 times x and negative 6 times 3. And then I'm going to move the 2 over. And I'm going to have negative 6x minus 16. And this is my equation in slope-intercept form.